As a full-time makeup reviewer, I try a lot of new products every month, but you might be wondering, what is it that really stood out to me? What are the products that I would go back and repurchase again once they're gone? And I think that especially holds true when it comes to more expensive products, because obviously we don't want to waste our money. So it's always, I think, helpful to know what a person is actually using in real life once the cameras are turned off. What are they using up? So with that in mind, today I'm going to be sharing my top 10 products from Sephora that I would repurchase immediately. And if you'd like to see another version of this from a different store, definitely let me know. I already have one from the drugstore that I did from Target, so I will link that at the end of this video. But let's go ahead and just start with number 10. These are in no particular order. I love all of these products for different reasons. So coming in at number 10, we have the Rare Beauty Brow Gel. This is actually a new find for me. I was previously using the Too Faced Fluff and Hold, and that was my favorite brow gel that I actually repurchased several times, but that seems to have been discontinued. They're not carrying it in stores anymore, and they also seem to change the formula. I noticed that the last time I bought it, it was kind of flaking in my brows, and it just wasn't the same. So one of you actually had recommended this one from Rare Beauty, and I love it so much. The hold is incredible. I have really stubborn brows that are always like falling flat in the middle of the day after I've combed them through with a brow gel. So I really need something with strong hold, and this does the trick. Once my brows set, they stay in place the entire day. They don't move, but at the same time, if I go to touch them, they don't feel overly stiff or crunchy. They have a nice kind of soft hold to them, yet at the same time, they don't budge. So it's just the best of both worlds, like perfect Goldilocks brow gel. And also, while it's not as affordable as something at the drugstore, I find Rare Beauty to be very reasonably priced compared to some other things at Sephora. So I have been loving this, and I highly recommend checking it out if you need something with a really strong hold. Coming in at number 9, we have the new Huda Beauty blush filter. These aren't super new. They've been out for a couple of months, but she's been releasing new colors, and one of my favorites is the Ube Cream, but today I'm actually wearing the Cotton Candy shade, which is a little bit more of a warmer pink, and these are so incredible. Even though they're a newer product, I've fallen in love with them, and I really have been reaching for these more than any other blush in my collection, whether it's powder or liquids. And I think the reason is because these are sort of the best of both a powder and a liquid. They have this really nice moussey texture that just glides onto your skin really easily like a cream would, and it looks very natural. It doesn't look powdery sitting on top. It looks like the blush is sort of coming from within your cheeks, but at the same time, these blur your pores just like a powder would. So as you brush them on, all of that texture that's on your cheeks just sort of melts away, and I think that's the one issue that I have with blushes that are more dewy, because they tend to highlight the texture and pores on my cheeks, but a powder will usually make them look a little more smooth. So like I said, this is the best of both worlds. You have that beautiful smoothing effect, and the colors that they come in are so stunning. I love pretty much every single one. I believe I have them all. I know she sent me some in PR. There were a couple that I also bought. I just can't get enough of them. Even the deeper colors I can wear if I go in very sparingly with them, but just keep in mind with these, you really only need to start with one little dot on your cheek, and then I like to blend them out with a brush. This is the BK Beauty 107, so this is like my perfect blush brush. Like I said, I'll just put a little dot on my cheek, and I'll show you how this blends out. It's so easy because it has that moussey feel, and they're not as pigmented as something like the Rare Beauty blushes, especially with the lighter colors. If you're fair-skinned, I recommend starting with one of these, and as you get used to the formula, you can always grab some of the deeper colors as well. But of course, if you have a deeper skin tone, there are so many beautiful colors to pick from in this line. So I can't recommend these enough. I just think they are the best blush formula of the year, hands down. And I don't see myself getting tired of these anytime soon. If I run out of a color, I know I'm gonna go repurchase it. All right, coming in at number 8, we have a skincare product. This is the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream. You guys know I've talked about this on my channel for so many years now. This is probably, I can't even think of how many times I've repurchased this, at least 4 or 5. Plus I've had little sample jars that I've gotten as well just for travel, and those even last a while. style. With this cream, you really don't need a lot of product, but this is the one and only high-end skincare product that I use. These days, I'm all about Korean skincare or skincare from the drugstore from brands like Prequel and Naturium. I find that you really don't need to spend a lot of money to get amazing skincare. But this one I just keep going back to because I've never found anything exactly like it. And I've had some of you also tell me the same thing once you tried this formula. The texture is rich and thick, so it's a great moisturizer for dry skin, which I have, but also there's something almost glossy about it. I think that's what gives it that dewy look to your skin. And unlike other moisturizers, even if I use something really thick and rich, I find that over the course of the day, my skin starts to lose that moisture. It evaporates, whatever happens to it. I can start to kind of look dry again, but with this one, that never happens. My skin always has that plumped up, really dewy look. So this is my ultimate winter moisturizer. I can use it in the summertime too, but I don't use it as much then just because it's really humid and my skin kind of goes more from dry to normal. But once the fall rolls around again, this is the absolute first moisturizer I tend to reach for, and I just use it the entire winter. So I had to include this in this video because, like I said, I've repurchased this now so many times, and believe me, I would be happy to buy something cheaper if I can find a product that hydrates my skin as well as this one does. But so far that hasn't happened. I'm always on the hunt for it though. So if you guys have tried anything that reminds you of this, let me know. Next up is a lip liner. It's the one that I'm wearing in the video today, and this is the Lip Cheat from Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Pillow Talk Fair. So way back when Charlotte Tilbury first started getting really popular, I tried her Pillow Talk lipstick and lip liner, and while I do like the color, I find that it looks a little bit peachy against my cooler toned skin. And I really wanted something that would give me that cooler toned Your Lips But Better kind of pink. And this one is perfect. As you can see, it's a little more on like the neutral to cool side. It doesn't show up peachy against my skin tone. So again, it's Pillow Talk Fair, and it's just the most perfect color. Normally what I do is just put on a lip balm first, and then I'll line my lips and fill them in and just wear this as a lipstick. And it is perfect for that. But also because it's so close to my natural lip color, I like to sometimes just use this as a lip liner and then fill in with a tinted balm or gloss or something. And I like to go just a little bit above my lip line just to create a little bit more volume. And this is such a great formula. I do think that Charlotte Tilbury can be one of those brands that's very overpriced and overhyped, but when it comes to the lip liners, I really enjoy this formula. I think they are just smooth and creamy, but not too creamy. They don't wear away immediately. So I find that you can really keep your lip border in place when you use something like this. It's not going to smudge all over the place. So this is just a color that I don't want to be without. And like I said before, I would gladly pay less if I could find a lip liner in this color, and I'm definitely looking for that. But so far, I haven't come across something that is exactly the same. But again, if you guys have, definitely let me know. I love the ColourPop lip liners, for example. Those are one of my favorite formulas too, but they don't have this particular shade. So that's why I continue to buy it, but we'll see. At some point, I may find a cheaper option. Next up at number 6, we have the Gucci Powder Bronzer. This bronzer is just my ultimate bronzer shade, and this is another product that I really wish I didn't have to pay $65 for, but until I find a cooler rosy tone bronzer that looks just like this at the drugstore, I'm kind of stuck with this one. But I also feel like this was a good investment because I use it so much. I use this bronzer more than any of the other ones in my collection. So for me, I think that's worth it. I have other more expensive bronzers that I rarely reach for, and those are ones that I wouldn't even consider repurchasing because I can get any old bronzer at the drugstore. But when it comes to this particular shade, I'm just so in love with it. And again, I don't want something that is super cool toned to use as a bronzer. I don't want to look gray because obviously the idea of bronzer is to warm up your skin and make it look like you got some sun. But what I love about this one is that it has that rosy undertone, and that's the color that I naturally turn when I go out and get a real tan, which I don't do anymore because it's obviously not good for you. I've had skin cancer twice, so You know, I like to mimic that really natural looking bronze, and so many bronzers show up very orangey on me, or sometimes they have a yellow undertone that can make me look kind of sallow. So a good rosy tone bronzer is really tough to find, and then sometimes when I find them, they're too dark for me. So this one in the shade Fair is just that perfect tone and also the perfect depth for me as well. Not to mention, I think that this formula is just so silky and smooth. It doesn't get muddy and it blends out really seamlessly on your skin. So this is one of those rare products that I do think is actually worth the price. Not to mention, I mean, the packaging is gorgeous. It's so, so pretty. It's really just a joy and a pleasure to use every day. But I do keep hoping that one of the drugstore brands will come out with a dupe for that and I can just save myself some money. So maybe one day that'll happen. Who knows? Next, coming in at number 5, we have the Hourglass Unlocked Instant Extensions Mascara. So this is a tubing formula. And if you've been following me on my channel for a while, you know how much I love tubing formulas. It's pretty much all I use these days, and this is my favorite out of all of the ones that I've tried, other than I would say the Thrive Cosmetics liquid lash extensions, but unfortunately you can't get that at Sephora. So if I have to just walk in store and buy something, it would be this one. This was another recommendation from a viewer, and when I first bought it, the first day I tried it, I was kind of meh about it. I didn't think it gave me quite as much length and volume as I was hoping for, but this is the kind of formula that you have to use it a couple times and then you're like, wow, oh my gosh, this makes my lashes look incredible. So it just has to kind of get a little air in the tube and dry out slightly, and it is so perfect. So give it a chance if you do end up trying it. They do have a mini, by the way, that's I think like 15, 16 bucks. And that's the one that I usually get. I don't bother with the full size tube normally because you don't even use it up before the 3 months and you're supposed to throw it away. So I usually just get the little mini and it's perfect. But the last time I went to buy it, it was sold out. So I just got this one. There are other tubing mascaras I really like. I like the Tartelette XL mascara. The Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water is a nice one. Of course, the Thrive liquid lash extensions, but I would say this one is my number one. It just gives me so much length and volume and that false lash look that I'm always going for. And sometimes tubing formulas can flake, and that bothers me because they get into my eyes and I wear contacts, so it's extra uncomfortable when that happens. And I know that sometimes I experience that with the Tarte one. Even though I love the way it makes my lashes look, it can sometimes get a little flaky, and I'm not quite sure why. Some days it does and some days it doesn't. But this one, I don't have any issues with that. And it also just removes so easily. You just have to get a little bit of warm water on your hands and just massage it in, and all the little tubes just fall off. And once I tried a tubing mascara, I realized I never wanted to go back to having those black smudges all over my towels from the other mascaras that I was using, or thinking that I fully removed them and then waking up in the morning and still having the black smudges under my eyes. You never have that with a tubing formula. So they're just so easy and so convenient. All right, next up at number 4, I have another lip liner. So this is from Lawless. This is the Forget the Filler Definer Liner in the shade Pink Slip. This is another one that I have not been able to find a dupe for the life of me. I've tried so many different drugstore lip liners. I have a bunch in my collection. One day I sat on the floor and just started swatching them all, trying to find one that looked like this, and I just can't find it. It's the perfect cool tone pink, and so many of my other lip liners that look like they might be cool toned actually end up looking peachy next to this one. So it is just really, really cool, and if you compare it to the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Fair, this is just like a darker version of that. So I feel like they're the same tone, but the Lawless one just gives you a little more color. So for today, for example, this looks like it could be my natural lip color, but with the Lawless one, you can tell that I have something on my lips. It's just that little hint of something, but at the same time, it's still a very natural looking color. So these are the two that I reach for when I'm doing any kind of cool cool tone look with my eyes and cheeks, I always grab one of these. It just depends on what intensity I want. All right, coming in at number 3, we have the In Beauty Project Sun Balm SPF 30. These are literally the best SPF lip balm that I've tried. I have tried the K-Skin ones, which I do like as well, but the packaging on those is a little bit wonky. The tubes get clogged, and so while I initially loved those, over time I think the packaging got really frustrating. So I love the formula, but hopefully they'll end up changing the packaging on those. In the meantime, these are so fantastic. If you've had that issue with SPF lip balms where they taste terrible, these are not like that at all. They don't have any gross sunscreen taste, and I love having SPF 30 in a lip balm, especially in the warmer months when I'm outside a lot. And these are just so hydrating. The formula is incredible. They have squalane, jojoba oil, mango, and shea butter. The sunscreen in here is zinc oxide, so again, it doesn't have that sunscreen smell or taste. It's just a natural mineral sunscreen, and I wore these like crazy over the summer. I just like pretty much every day I was applying one of these 3 shades, and I actually did do lip swatches of the 3 shades in a previous video, so I'll show you that really quick and you can see what they look like on my lips. But I think the colors are so pretty and so wearable. There's a nude and a light pink, and there's a deeper rosy shade as well. And I found that no matter what my makeup look was on any given day, one of these would usually fit. So I ended up getting most of the way through these tubes last summer. They're maybe like down to about here, I would say, for most of them. I think the nude one is actually probably the lowest, followed by the light pink, and then the rosy one I have the most of. But as we head into this summer, this is definitely going to be a product that I'll repurchase again because I love being able to give my lips sun protection. We always think about our face and our body when we go out, but your lips are so sensitive and it's really important. So this is just a really fun way to do it. I know there are tons of SPF lip balms out there, and there's some really cheap ones as well, some more affordable ones, but I just feel like these are such a fun formula, and because they have the color and the packaging is even exactly like the Summer Fridays lip balms. It has that rubbery applicator. It's really comfortable to use, and these look so shiny and smoothing and beautiful on your lips. So they're really one of those products that's a pleasure to use every day. I don't feel like, oh, I have to apply my SPF lip balm. It's not a chore. Like, it's actually a fun luxury way to do it. So those are definitely something I'll be repurchasing again. Then coming in at number 9, I have a fragrance that I have fallen so in love with this year, and when this is gone, I would definitely repurchase. It's Fleur's Heavy Cream. I know I've talked about this in other videos, but I've been using this so much. I do have their Vanilla Skin, and I love that one too. Actually, I like to mix this one with that one sometimes, but this is my favorite of all of their fragrances, and right now, probably the one that I wear the most out of any of the perfumes that I have from Sephora. And the reason for that is it's very sweet and very gourmand. Like, you have the vanilla smell in there. It has marshmallow. It has a little bit of coconut cream and caramel. So it's that very sweet kind of scent. You have to definitely be a fan of gourmands to like this, but there's something else about it that's a little bit lighter. There's lemon sugar in the top note. There's a little bit of jasmine blossom. There's a little bit of amber. So even though it's mostly sweet, there's that little bit of lightness and freshness to this. And I think that's what makes it different than all of those really heavy, kind of weighty vanilla type scents where they just end up kind of overwhelming you sometimes. So if you're someone who likes a lighter, fresher scent, but you also like that to be on the sweet side and not overly floral or, not like a fresh laundry kind of smell. If you like the sweetness, but you just want that little bit of levity, then I highly recommend this one. I think the staying power is also really good. These body sprays from Fleur, even though they're not a perfume, they're more of a body mist, I find them to be pretty long lasting. So this one is so nice. But again, it's a little more of a subtle scent. So it's not something that's going to project super far from your body. People are going to smell it on you as they get closer to you. But that's the kind of perfume that I typically love. So this has been a huge favorite of mine, and I will definitely buy a new bottle once this runs out. It did sell out really fast when it first launched, but I believe it's back in stock there. So it's a great one to check out, especially now as we head into the spring and summer months. And then coming in at number 1, we have the Cali Ray Super Bloom Lip and Cheek Soft Stains. I actually have all 4 colors that these come in, and I've repurchased 2 of them already. So these I think were mainly billed as a cream blush. That's how I saw a lot of people using them, but they're also a glossy lip stain. And I love 2-in-1 products like this, especially again, as we head into the summer months when we're really busy or I'm on vacation and I don't want to load up my travel bag with too much stuff. I can put these in there. They're small, they don't take up a lot of room, but it's a blush and a lipstick in one. And you really don't have to think too hard about the look that you're creating. You just do your eyes and then use the same color on your lips and cheeks. It's perfectly coordinated. There's just something so easy and so convenient about it. And this formula is fantastic. I rarely like something on both my lips and my cheeks. Normally, if a product is hydrating enough for my lips, then it's too sticky for my cheeks. If it's perfect for my cheeks, then it's too dry for my lips. This is that perfect in between. It's a little tiny bit dewy, so it's not going to be a completely matte blush. It has that hydration there, but it's not sticky. I feel like it mostly sinks in. And on your lips, these function as one of those staining lip balms. So at first you put it on, it feels really comfortable, really hydrating. And then over time, as that little bit of shine and dewiness wears away, you're left with this beautiful stain behind that's really long lasting. Same thing with your cheeks. It's gonna last pretty much the whole day. And the formula is just really comfortable. I never feel like my lips are dry or tight when I wear these. So Wildflower and Dawn Patrol were the first 2 shades that I ever purchased. Wildflower is like a soft pink, and then Dawn Patrol is a nude. And then I ended up buying the other 2 colors because I loved them so much. I got Laguna Peach, which is just a really pretty soft peach, and then Heat Wave, which is a brighter pinky coral. And I like this one more than I ever thought I would. It's a little bit brighter, but it looks so beautiful, especially in the summertime. It's just a great pop of color without being too dramatic. And what I love about these 2 is you can put on 1 layer and it's just a really soft stain, or you can build them up and really intensify the color more. So you can play with them, you can adjust them to the way that you like, but they're just such a fun product. I love everything about them, from the convenience of having a 2-in-1 to the amazing formula. The colors are so pretty. So this is another product I definitely do not want to be without. I did do a drugstore version of this video, so if you're interested in seeing that, I'll put it right here on the screen that you could check out next. And I want to thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to watch this. I truly appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.